Aye.
United have got a knack of losing important players, be it not offering them a contract, some weird nonsense. Like there's just something that I can't really put to words.
Sometimes it won't be true. Do you get what I mean? In this case, it's not true. But there are gonna be times when City sitting on top of the league and they say Haaland is the best striker in the league. City are number one. Are we going to dismiss that when he has the most goals? City are number one and he's a striker.
That
Are we now saying
no,
that
you
that
see that
doesn't make sense?
example. That example, you can't give that example. And I know everybody thinks. No, and I know like there are a lot of majority of the people have got a strong opinion about this thing, saying that Greenwood must leave, he must go. He's like this, he's like that.
Like, this is probably the longest winning run we've had this season. So we're 4 for 4. You check what I'm saying. We haven't lost. We are 4 for 4. Can we go and make it 5? Right. Welcome back to another episode of the Glory Reds podcast. It's been a while. I did mention in the video before that, we've been offline for a minute, but that was due to very good reasons, and some new reasons as well, because, we're also trying to take the show in a different direction. We're coming up with new ideas, new plans, etc. But I think we'll get through all of that at the end of this episode. But for now, welcome back, my guy. What's good, man? It's been a long while, man, since we've been on camera together.
Pastor D, salute, Makina, salute, my dude,
Yeah,
salute.
yeah, yeah.
Huh? Oh man, it feels good to be back.
It feels so good to be back.
It feels so good to be back.
Hey, man.
What's going on, man? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Man, for the first time in a long time, like, I think I can truly say, man, not to get ahead of myself, but things are good,
Yeah.
man. Things are good,
Things-
you
Oh
know?
yeah,
Things are
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Things are good,
Uh-huh.
like, personally, things are good on the United side. I think we've gone, what is it, 4 games now, straight victories. So, there's been some progress. There's definitely
I was
been some
telling
progress.
people,
Yeah,
huh? I told people, if we get Casemiro back, if we get Licha back, unfortunately we
yeah,
lost Licha, but man,
yeah.
the football has changed.
It
Huh?
has. It
Isn't
has.
this what we're waiting for?
Yeah,
Isn't this
man.
what we've been waiting for? But I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot to talk about. But
Yeah,
man, I feel vindicated. I feel like a prophet, D. I really
yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. When I
yeah,
said
yeah,
this and then this and then it happens, I'm like,
yeah,
Nito, what's going on? Like you're
yeah,
hitting the marks, and I'm happy. I'm just happy that
yeah,
we're actually back to there's you see that structure that we used to have back in the day, like last season.
yeah,
I mean, it's back in the day, last season,
yeah, yeah,
where there
yeah,
was just that thing, and
yeah,
the fist bumping. You saw that, the high fives.
yeah, yeah,
These are little
yeah,
things that we take like we don't take into consideration, but those things actually show us signs of good things to come. So right now, I'm happy, bro.
yeah. No, I agree
Yeah,
with you. I think in all fairness, like, I think the whole United community, we are just happy. And, like, obviously big ups to you for your prophecy and everything like that. But I think a lot of United fans, you know, I think they just lost patience waiting for that moment to come. So I think a lot of us at the back of our minds already knew that once our players come back from injury, things are gonna be all good. But it got so bad that it just kept getting pushed to the back of our minds that we
yeah,
just never thought that would get back to this point of stability. So the whole time, you know, the chaos was erupting. We couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. That we just need to be patient, wait for the players to get back from injury, and then there's gonna be that sense of stability. And then from that stability, we can now grow into it. Because remember, we literally said that January, when these players get back from injury, it's like we're buying new
new
players.
signs.
You know,
Yeah, new
it's
signs.
yeah, that's like it's like new signings for us, transfers, because we had to deal with what we could deal with at the time when everything was going down. And
Yeah,
even when these players got back, I mean, it did take some time for them to get into their stride. I mean, just take an example of that Wolves game. I mean, it was so hectic. We could have lost, you know, we literally could have lost. And we managed to finally pull it off with some brilliant work from Kobe Mainu. And even
Oh,
before the Wolves match, let's even talk about the Newport match as well. We go 2 goals up, we get complacent, they equalize, and then we wake up again. So, like you said, and like I said as well, not to get ahead of ourselves, but at least there's stability to the chaos that has just been erupting at the club. And we can now start, what I mean, building from this good rapport and just hope that, we just keep doing what we need to do and not like get carried away, right? Because obviously we've made up a lot of ground in terms of
yeah,
points. And now we're
yeah,
like, is it 8 points behind Villa, who are sitting at fourth, and we're 6 points behind Spurs, who are sitting at fifth, you know? So and speaking of that, I think we'll talk about it later because obviously Villa is the next game, and Villa just lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup, so they're also gonna come and bring the heat. You check. So for them, it's a must win to stay in top four. For us, it's a must win, to close that gap. Ten Hag
yeah.
literally called it. It's gonna be like a cup final, which it is.
Every game
It
from
is.
now is the cup final.
Every game is a cup final in order for
Yeah,
us to reach those goals that we want to reach. But like I said, that stuff we can get into later. I think personally, I wanted to kick off by talking about the whole stadium situation because that's current
okay.
news that has broke, you know, and it's so enlightening because a lot of fans just didn't know at what point this was going to initiate. We've always spoke about the stadium needs to be renovated, it needs to be fixed, we need better facilities, etc., etc. So just one
Yeah,
of those things that was in the pipeline, but we just never thought when it was actually going to be initiated. And now that pros is now starting to feel like a real thing that's going to happen, right? And now real opinions are coming out, because
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
before you're like it just needs a patch up, blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh, wait, actually, this project is being taken very seriously. And now you're thinking, opportunity here. Do we patch the stadium up or do we just get a brand new stadium? You know what I mean? So I'm going to allow you to give your thoughts first because I already made a video. I was giving my thoughts. So I'll
Oh
let
yeah,
you speak first on your thoughts
yeah.
about it. And then I think I'll just go in depth with basically what I said in the video before. So what are your thoughts on this, man?
Okay, first of all, man, I would like to just say that, the fact that they're actually initiating this whole renovation, new stadium thing, it's a good thing. Like, we've needed that fresh start, I guess.
Yeah.
But, but, I don't want Old Trafford to be demolished. It is a symbol. Old Trafford is a symbol. It is, I think, out of, um, I don't know. I forgot what the capacity is for the Tottenham Stadium, but I know Old Trafford is bigger than the Emirates. It's bigger than Etihad. It's smaller than Wimbledon. I mean Wembley.
Wembley, yeah.
Yeah, it's United Stadium is quite big. I think the capacity
Yeah.
is about 78 point something or
Yeah,
76. Actually
somewhere along
competing
those
with
lines.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually competing with the likes of Camp Nou, Bernabeu in terms of its
Seating
prestigious.
capacity.
Yeah, and when and the history and everything that that revolves around that stadium.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just think that these guys should find the best engineers that they can find, and they
Yeah.
should just renovate the stadium, just like what Barcelona are doing with Camp Nou, with the
Yeah.
new camp. They've
Yeah.
just moved to another stadium. We can move to another stadium. That's fine. But Old
Yeah.
Trafford cannot be demolished. We cannot move away from Old Trafford because that is what Manchester is. Like, and I know,
Yeah.
and I know, and I know. It's like, but Ben, but dude, we move away from Old Trafford. It's going to take a while, like a while, for us to get used to this new stadium. Now, I'm not saying that that is a bad thing because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's all about revenue, how much tickets they're going to sell. They are trying to increase the seats, to have a bigger capacity, blah, blah, blah. I get all of that. But I believe and I really think that you can still do that at Old Trafford. Like, there are certain parts of the stadium that you can demolish and renovate. Man, like, don't. abandon Old Trafford. That's what I'm saying. And the problem with me, I am a sentimentalist, dude. You know what I mean? You give me, for example, D, you give me that mic that you're using right now.
Yeah.
Best believe you come after 10 years, you're going to find it. Still in
Yeah.
pristine condition, still looking right there. And it's like, wait, is this the mic that I gave you? And I'll be like, yeah, bro, it is. I keep stuff that are sentimental. And I feel like Old Trafford is very, very, very sentimental. We shouldn't part ways. Like, let them fix the place and let's move to another stadium. Like what I think Tottenham did that, right?
Spurs. Yeah.
Tottenham moved to to Wembley. I'm not sure if Arsenal did the same thing when they did the whole Highbury thing, or they just moved directly to the Emirates. I forgot. But let's do the same. Let us not leave Old Trafford. It's already big enough. Old Trafford towers over a lot of stadiums in the world just by itself right now. You know,
Yeah.
so we're going to abandon it and then what? Make it into a mall or complex or a museum? Nah, come on, come on. That is a
Yeah.
theater of dreams, bro. A lot of
Yeah.
dreams were made there. A lot of moves, a lot of lives, a lot of careers were launched in that stadium. A lot of memories, bro. Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo. Bruh, there are
Yeah.
so many memories at that stadium. Now we want to start a new, like, first of all, how long is this new stadium going to take? Like,
So
if they are to
basically,
build it,
it's so from what I've read, it's an eight
yeah,
year plan. It's an 8 year
eight
plan.
year,
Yeah, 8 years. So I think that 8 year plan, look, it could be done in a much shorter time, but
yeah,
there's a lot of logistics that need to go, you know what I mean? They need to go
yeah.
through because obviously there's reports of Sir Jim trying to get some funding from the government, right? So I'm pretty sure that's not an
Which I
overnight
find
situation.
strange.
You check. So
Yeah,
I don't know how long that process is going to take. Let's just assume it takes 12 months, whatever. Let's just say it takes a calendar year. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Then
yeah,
after that, they need to start getting contractors and start figuring out, okay, where they're going to train, where they're going to play, etc., etc., etc. And then
mm,
again, it all depends on what exactly they're going to do. Because if it is a renovation, then I assume it's going to take less than 8 years. But if
yeah,
it is a rebuild, then it would probably take, I don't want to say 8 years because we've seen World Cup stadiums being built in four. You know what I
yes,
mean? South
yes,
Africa, when we were
yes.
hosting the World Cup, you know, I saw Peter Mokaba from ground, the new Peter Mokaba,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
not the
yeah.
one that we used to run on in
Yeah,
high school. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I saw
yeah,
that thing get built in less than 4 years. You feel
yeah,
me? So
yeah,
yeah, so it is possible for it to get done in less than 4 years. So, but anyway, let me let you finish. You know what I mean, and then I'll jump
yeah,
into the other stuff about the stadium. But yeah,
yeah.
you
So
just
yeah,
wanted that
man.
information about how long it's gonna take. But yeah,
Yeah, I honestly don't want to part ways with Old Trafford, and I know that I might be on the minority because people like change. I I accept change, but then obviously in moderate, like in
in
moderation.
moderation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not just boom, boom, like changing
yeah,
stuff
yeah, yeah,
and all of that stuff. So man, let's stick to Old Trafford. Old Trafford is a crown jewel, man. Like that is, bro. It's like taking it's literally like taking down Sir Alex Ferguson's statue. It
mm,
feels like it. Like if you're going to bring it down and then like build another, like okay, say you do want to build another stadium. What are you gonna do with the Old Trafford, the old Trafford? Like what are you gonna do? And then now you're gonna start bringing this pressure of trying to come up with another name for the new stadium, because if it's new, people want something new with it. So are we going to keep? Are we going to keep with the Old Trafford or Theater of Dreams? You know, people are going to come up with different names, and so let's just stick to what we have. This thing is over 100 years old.
yeah,
It is, let's leave it. Let
yeah,
it be like a dinosaur. It will be a museum. It is history. People walk to Old Trafford, they just feel 100 years of history, you know,
yeah,
smacking them in the face. Statues, the stadium, everything, but then all modernized because we are just renovating what's there. If we
yeah,
lose everything, then I don't know. You know, for some of us who haven't actually been to Old Trafford yet, you
mm,
know, I won't lie to you. I haven't been to Old Trafford, but if
yeah,
they build the new stadium before I actually make it there, Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be happy because I want to experience Old Trafford. You understand?
I
So
get you. I get you.
I don't know. It's tricky, bro. It's really tricky.
Yeah. Nah, I
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah, man. Like likewise, like I told myself I need to definitely visit Old Trafford before whatever happens to it. I want to experience that history, that culture, the stadium, the atmosphere, the everything. Now, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get into a little bit of a lengthy opinion about how I feel about this situation. Now, I'm
All
going to
right.
touch on some of the points that you made, and I'm just going to add a little bit of my own. You
All
spoke
right.
about Old Trafford being prestige, like Camp Nou, Bernabeu, etc., etc., etc. I think the difference is, and the reason why with United it's a very unique situation, is because with those stadiums, they actually cared and loved for them over time. So they didn't make patch ups. They were doing proper work every single year, maintaining the quality of the stadium. Like if
Not really.
whatever needed to be changed, they did that. Whatever needed to
Not
be kept,
really. Not
whatever
really.
needed to be like if you compare like the maintenance of Bernabeu,
Benabao
if you
is just
compare the
recently
main
been.
yes,
It's not
yes,
recent.
but
Yeah.
they still even before that recent renovation, it was
Uh,
still better condition than Old
okay.
Trafford.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Do you get what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
was more of a maintenance plan with those other stadiums versus Old Trafford. Because Old Trafford, it's literally got to a point where it's a safety hazard to go and watch matches at the stadium. That's why this is a pressing issue. You understand? Because when the auditors or whatever you call them, the is it contractors, auditors, whatever, the guys who go there and I know what they're called, but for some reason it slipped my mind. But anyway, those
Yeah.
guys who go and check out the condition and everything like that, like they were literally talking about, the walls, the piping, the wires that run through the building, etc. Like it's got to a point where it's like it's past that point of renovation you get. And if they have to patch it up, it's just going to be
Make it
patching up
worse.
until this thing just eventually crumbles to the dirt. You
Yeah.
check. So that's
Yeah.
why that's why there's this initiative of, you know what, we might as well just rebuild it. Now, you said you didn't want to like have Old Trafford located in a different location. Now, they're not gonna move Old Trafford from where it currently sits. All right. So Old Trafford apparently has one of the biggest um car parks in England in terms of stadiums, right? And probably in Europe. Apparently, they've got one of the biggest car parks. So what
Really?
they want to do, yes. So what they want to do is they want to move the stadium into the car park area so they can expand it. You get so it's not gonna move from the location. They're just gonna move it
Mm.
away from the railway. So now the way the stadium is built, right? It's built right close to the railway. Like if you see images of Old Trafford,
Yeah.
the I don't know what side of the stadium is, but that there's a part of the stadium which is right along the railway, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
there's another part of the stadium that runs along the river. So obviously they
Yeah.
can't do anything about that. Do you get what I mean? But everything after that is their land where they can do whatever they need to do. So they want to increase the sitting capacity, right? I mean, so Jim literally said he wants to make the Old Trafford the Wembley of the North, right? And obviously you're talking about in terms of seating capacity,
Yeah.
facilities, etc., etc.
Mm.
They can't expand the stadium because of those problems. They can only expand it so much, right? So if they want to increase the seating capacity, it's not gonna be like a renovation type of situation because that railway runs every single fucking day. They can't cut off that railway to say, oh, we need to start construction this side. You check. So that's the reason why they're like, if we have to build a new stadium, we're not gonna move it to a different location. It's going to sit where it's always sat. We're just gonna move it inwards into the car park. So the car park is going to suffer, which is not a problem because other stadiums also don't have the luxury of car park
So
of
many
enough
car
car.
parks.
Exactly. You check what I'm saying. So that's not gonna be an issue. So that's why they want to entertain that idea of demolish the whole thing and just build this thing from scratch. And then henceforth, so we don't run into the same problem that we have currently right now. We just
Mm.
make sure that this stadium is always maintained and kept up to beat. Right. So that's
Yeah.
the first part of the
No,
information.
that makes
Now,
sense. That
yes, yes. Now, in terms of sentimental value, like I'm also that type of person. I literally still have an MP4 that my mother bought for me in 2010, and that thing has been kept in mint condition. Ben, if I show you that little MP4 player, I swear
Yeah,
to God, you'll think I bought it yesterday.
the ones
You know
from
what I
back in the
mean?
days. I
The ones
remember
from
those
back in
things.
the days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
I
looked like a
still
USB or some shit.
Fam, I still have it. I still listen to it. I connect my 3 point what audio thing inside. I don't even use Bluetooth on that motherfucker. You check what I'm
Yeah,
saying? When it comes
yeah,
to sentiment, when it comes to that sentimental situation, I get it. You know what I mean? But in that same breath,
mm,
I've never been to the stadium. You know what I mean? I haven't had
yeah,
that opportunity. I like my opinion is going to be so far different from someone who grew up in Manchester, someone who went to the stadium every single that emotional connection for a
sure.
Mancunian is never going to compare to mine. You know, it's never, no matter how much I want to fake it, it's just not going to be the same. So I get those fans who have that very strong opinion about it. And truth be told, actually, the majority of the fans don't want Manchester to be broken down. You understand?
Yeah.
They don't want a rebuild of a new stadium.
Thank
They
you.
want to keep the old one. Now, here's where I come in and and with my opinion, right?
Mm,
My controversial opinion. No one likes these opinions. Here's my thought, né? Because Old Trafford is not going to leave where it has always stood for the past hundreds of years. I
mhm.
honestly believe that we do need to demolish that stadium. I don't. Yes, I'm 100% going to agree that it's going to take. It's gonna take something away. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's gonna take the soul, the whatever. I don't know. I don't know what type of implication that's going to have. But this is the way I view it, right? So Old Trafford back in the day was this prestige stadium, top facilities in England, in Europe, everything, right? We had all these great players coming through the system. We had all these great players utilizing those facilities, having the best things at their disposal to be the players that they could be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I believe it's very unfair for these new crop of players not to have the same stuff that those guys had, in order to reach their heights, in order to
Mm,
maintain, their talents, in order to be prestige. And they have to because it's not us who are utilizing that facilities or you who are utilizing those facilities. The fans go in there, yes, they utilize the stadium to watch the games, but
yeah.
the players themselves are the ones that are walking those corridors every day. They're the ones that are using those equipments. They're the ones that are whatever. So I feel that we need to give these players the same opportunities, the same type of luxuries and whatever that the players of the past had for them to be a thriving team. They deserve that, you know. And to truth
Mhm.
be told, this is a new generation of Manchester United, right? And I don't think that building a new stadium, demolishing Old Trafford and building a new stadium is gonna take anything away from our history. I honestly don't. Our history will always be our history. No one and nothing can take that away from us. It's always going to be us. That's always going to be united. But I think we also need to acknowledge and accept that, look, we're now living in a new generation, right? And we can't keep on holding on because truth be told, Ben, if it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen sometime because we can't sit here and be naive or be selfish and say you'll demolish this thing when I die. Do you get what I mean? At some point, Old Trafford's going to this thing's not going to sit for 500 years. It's going to go through a stage in its life where it's going to be demolished, rebuilt, or it's going to be moved somewhere, whatever. Do you get what I mean? So why delay the inevitability? It's going to happen. I get the emotional ramifications. I get all of that. I'm not trying to be cold hearted. I'm not trying to say I don't understand the sentimentality. I get it, you know. But at the same time, I also look at this as an opportunity to give this new crop, this new breed of players, these guys that were I looked at it from this point of view, Ben. You're trying to recruit a player, right? These players don't just sit at home, you know, cause, then they hop to a stadium. No, these players have been to these stadiums either through, you know, Champions League or Europa, whatever, preseason, whatever. They tour, they go and see the stadiums. Even when they're about to get signed by players, they go and visit the stadiums, right? If they're gonna come to Old Trafford, these kids, these lighties, they're gonna see Old Trafford and they're gonna be like, I get the history and everything, but man, you know? And then they go to like a Liverpool or a Spurs or an Emirates, and they're looking at those facilities and they're like, God damn. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be here. I don't want to be at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? Where they don't have these type of facilities, these type of medical team, these type of whatever. You get what I'm saying? They have aircon in the gym. Old Trafford doesn't have aircon in the gym. I'm just giving a silly example. I'm not saying that that's true. You
Yeah,
check what I'm.
yeah.
How are we going to be able to attract the type of players that we want to attract when we can't even give them that prestigeness of Man United? Because right now, Man United is just the name. There's nothing that can back it. We don't have the trophies because we haven't been winning trophies in years. We don't have the facilities. We don't have anything. You check. So for me, as much as I love Old, I really do, and I really want to visit the stadium before whatever takes place has to take place. But for me, it's like demolish it, rebuild it on the same land, you know, keep the name Old Trafford, keep Theatre of Dreams. If they can even somehow, and I know this won't happen because like I even said in my video, look, maybe when they reconstruct it, it has to take a new structure or a new form, due to, whatever environmental reasons, oh, this was an old design back in the day. Nowadays, you can't build a building like this because of whatever, economic, environmental, whatever, you need more light, this, what. So I know it's going to have to take some sort of a different form or shape or whatever. But if they can keep some reminiscence of like what Old Trafford used to be, I would love that. You know what I mean? Just give it maybe a modernized look, whatever, or maybe just keep that old structure. But it's a brand new stadium, and give this new stadium to this new generation so they can also build something on that's just going to add on to our history and keep it moving forward. You check?
And by this new generation, I'm assuming you mean Hoyland,
Yes.
Garnacho,
Yeah.
Menu,
You know what I
Ahmad,
exactly.
Messi, not
Forcing
fucking that.
everybody, exactly, everybody who has to come through the system. You check?
Because I
Because
was about to say, D, I like your point, but then saying that we're doing this for these players, it was just not sitting well with me because they're
no, I
useless.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. No, I'm not talking about
they're
Bo
useless.
Rashford and all these players that need to move on. No,
Fuck
I'm not
off.
talking
Yeah,
about them. I'm talking about the Kobe's. I'm talking about the Hoylands. I'm talking about these guys deserve. They deserve the best. Do you get what I mean? Because they're giving
if
us
you
the
put it like
best.
that,
So we
I
have to
would
give them the
agree with
best
you.
as well. So for me personally, I would just say, everyone get behind this thing of let's build this new stadium ASAP. You know what I mean? Let's become that world class stadium that we once were, and let us be the biggest in Europe. Because if you're talking about the Wembley of the North, we're talking about a seating capacity of 90,000. You check what I
Plus,
mean? Plus, you check. So for me, I'm like, if that's the plan, run it. But I think people also need to understand. And that's why I had to give an explanation. I couldn't just be like, oh, destroy Old Trafford and build a new stadium. Because then, people look at me and be like, oh, it's not a new true United supporter. It doesn't get the history. Blah. I get it. But I'm just giving you my opinion on why I believe that a new stadium needs to be built. You check. And
you
I just
see,
feel like we keep patching. How long are we gonna keep patching until a fucking stand collapses and 50 people die? And then
and you
what
know
are we
what's
going
funny?
to say?
I think, and you know what's funny? We keep saying they are patching. What's funny
Mm.
is, have they actually been patching? What if they haven't patched at all?
That's the
Because
thing,
if this thing is running down and looking the way it's supposedly
fam.
looking, then
There,
it looks like
there,
they weren't even patching.
there are literally videos of people in the stadium taking like shots of like the roof just crumbling, cement just falling from the upper stands. That's unacceptable. And infrastructure like that. Look, I'm no architect or whatever, but for me, it's not just a thing of you just go and patch. This thing has been sitting for 100 years. You know what I mean? What do you expect? Do you get what
Yeah,
I'm saying, Ben? What do you?
yeah.
It is going to crumble at some point. Old Trafford's not going to stand strong for 1,000 years. You check. So
Oh.
look, man, I
Hey, you
get it,
know
and
the
I know it's going to be hard for the diehard fans who always go and watch the matches and stuff. But man, with a heavy heart, it has to be done.
yeah, yeah. You know, if they can do, like, if Ineos and them guys can actually do what Real Madrid did, because Real Madrid renovated their stadium. Like, there's this
Yeah,
big renovation that has happened in the past 3, 4 seasons,
yeah.
where that there's one side of the stand where it's like they never had fans. They put this thing. It was going
Yeah.
through its renovations, and they had actually moved to another stadium.
Yeah.
Barcelona, as well, with its nice open floor, whatever, it's also going through
Yes.
its renovation, and they're not there. They've completely left the stadium. They're in another
Yeah.
place. So with Old Trafford, like I think, like what you were saying, and like if they're going to demolish it, bring it down, cool, and all that stuff, but they have to rebuild it. They have to build it up again. So
Yeah.
I don't want us to move from where Old Trafford is. Because
Yeah.
you look at Santiago Bernabeu, that thing is about 85, and that
Mm.
thing is like a building, in sense
Yes.
that the seats are it's
Yeah.
steep,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can be done. It can be done. Like Old Trafford can also look like that. I'm not saying that we need to look like the
Yes. No.
Bernabeu, but
100%.
then
Not.
in terms of
Not.
capacity, that
Yeah.
it can be done.
Yeah.
So demolish it, find a nice stadium. I'm assuming it will be Wembley, which would be
No.
strange. Would it be? It won't
No.
be Wembley.
It.
It can't be
Bam.
Wembley.
Wembley's in London. They have to travel
It's in
down
London,
south
so
for a
we might
home
have to
match.
be, we might have to use the Etihad.
Yeah.
You know what I
We,
mean?
we
We
might
might
have to
have to
do
use the Etihad,
like do what AC and Inter used to do. They used to
and
share a
yeah,
stadium.
yeah. So we'll be at the Etihad while they're renovating, and while they're
Yeah.
renovating, they don't waste time. They push that
Yeah.
stadium so that we can go back to it as
No.
soon as possible.
100%, 100%. So
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
just to reiterate, like obviously the reasoning is like
mm,
you said, do what Bernabeu and Camp Nou did. But you see, the reason why they were able to do it is because they had space around the stadium, which could
mm,
enable them to do that construction work.
mm.
United don't have the space. That's why they need to move it. So if they need to
Yeah,
move it,
no, that
they
whole
need to
moving,
demolish. You get
yeah,
what
that
I
whole
mean?
thing that they want to
Yes.
do, let them
Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
Yes.
let them do
Yeah.
it. If
They
it
need to
if it will,
demolish, move it
yeah,
like 100 meters. I don't know how big that car park is, but when you look at the pictures, it's fucking huge. So same space, just moving it away from the railway, and then
yeah,
they'll afford that. You know what I mean? To be able to build that structure. But yeah, man, we'll keep our ears glued to the ground, and we'll hear what happens in the following months, years to come.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
man,
No, but
yeah,
it's good. It's good that
yeah,
we're talking about stadium, because I mean,
yeah,
for a long time we've just heard this thing about, oh, the stadium this, the
mm,
stadium that, the
yeah,
stadium
yeah,
this, the stadium that, but we still go back. We still there cheering. Stratford End
yeah,
is popping when Rasmus scores or who scores. Like we've just been doing it, but then now
yeah.
seeing them actually taking steps to try and it's encouraging.
Yeah, man. It
It's
seems like
encouraging.
Sir Jim is going in the right direction. I know a lot of people writ him off because, obviously he was buying a small stake. He was still gonna be in connection with the Glazers and everyone wanted a full buyout. But it seems like, ever since he started his little reign, man, he's trying. You know what I
He,
mean? And
he has got
the
bigger
same
things
way
to do.
you check what I mean. The same way we want to allow our manager time, I think we also need to do that with Sir Jim and be like, look, it's fine, let's see what you're on about, let's see if you follow through with your word and everything like
Yeah.
that, and then we see how things go. But yeah, man, let's get back to the football side of things, man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get back. Yeah, man.
Sir.
I don't even know where to start. Where do you want to start with this one?
Um, bro, there's something that has been burning a hole in my chest
All
for
right.
a while now, and I wanted to address it
Yeah.
because we did address it in the beginning, like in our early episodes.
Yeah.
Even in the podcast, we talked about this. You know me, and I think I'm one of those. I think I'm one of the few people that has just stood out in support of Mason Greenwood. Forget about the fans at Getafe. Forget about all
Yeah.
those things. I mean, in terms of people actually saying, well, not necessarily supporting him, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I,
let's
I
not
get what
throw
you
away.
mean.
Yeah,
I get what you mean.
and I want to come back to this thing because I was thinking the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, dude. Let's bounce this back and forth.
All right.
United have got a knack of losing important players be it not offering them a contract, some weird nonsense. Like there's just something that I can't really put to words about how they do these things. And I kept thinking about this Mason Greenwood situation, and I kept thinking that this is also going to be another player that we are going to lose. Like he's a great player that we're going to lose, and we're gonna think back later and be like, but why? Why did we do that to Mason Green? Why did we let Mason Greenwood go? Or what is? Or it's gonna hit us when Real Madrid decide to buy Mason Greenwood, and then they slap a 1 billion release clause on him, and you know when they do that, these guys are there for 10 years. They're there for decades, and
Yeah.
it's just going to be Champions League. They're going to be winning stuff, you know. So I wanna talk about the Mason Greenwood situation,
Yeah.
and I I, I I'm I want to see where people are with this thing because time has passed. A lot of time has passed since that thing. Are people still holding on to what Mason Greenwood did? And if so, cool. All well and good. Like I'm not even here about to tell you that no, don't do that. But look at it now. Like people have forgotten. This is the world that we're living in. Mason Greenwood is being prosecuted, is being persecuted for something that you could arguably say that he did, but then when you come into the technicalities of everything, he is a free man. He is like he did nothing wrong, right? So now we're just focusing on his footballing thing. For me, it's just his football. I want that boy, and I want his football. And then on top of that, like what I talked about in the beginning, what kind of society are we living in, D? Where if somebody fucks up, they are cancelled for good. Like you mess up once, you are done. You do this, you are done. Like if there are people right now still complaining, saying we don't want Mason Greenwood in our team. Like for example, I'm talking about the females or these other people. And please engage me in this thing when you feel like saying something because it's like say they don't want him. Okay, they keep saying no, we don't want this rapist or this guy abuse or whatever. But this guy has left the club over 6 months. He's playing in another club, doing the bangers. He's in another country where people are accepting him. So what does that mean, in essence? Like he's allowed to fuck up and go to another place, and then they'll accept him. And then, like, I'm trying to understand why is it taking so long for people to get over Greenwood situation. And I don't mean it in a very harsh way. Listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong when I say that, oh, uh, the abuse and this. No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. Mason Greenwood's situation was a very isolated situation. The woman that he was abusing or whatever that they were saying that alleging that he did, he is still with the woman. They have a child together. They're probably going to get married. I don't know. So if she can accept Mason Greenwood because he did those things to her, how is it that everybody else still has a problem with it and that they will still have an opinion in a sense that it can cause Mason Greenwood not to come back to Manchester United? Like this is the thing that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
We Somebody messes up and he's the devil. We need to shun him. We need to shame him. We need to exile him. Excommunicado. We want nothing to do with you. Yet, Real Madrid, the greatest team that has ever existed in this planet, wants this player. Like, um, if there's any club that would receive the biggest scrutiny for recruiting a rapist or an abuser or whatever, it should be Real Madrid. Do you understand? But here these guys are like they're letting the time pass. They're letting time pass, letting time pass. Mason Greenwood is playing football, doing his thing. Time is going. People are forgetting about it. But then we are still holding on. Real Madrid, Barcelona, all these other big teams come in. They snatch Greenwood. They snatch him, right? Greenwood bounces. And Greenwood, mind you, Greenwood is a special player. He's a generational talent. I know deep down that Greenwood wants to play for United. He was born there. He grew up there. He's from the academy. The only thing that's stopping Mason Greenwood from actually completely being free and what is the fans, the people in Manchester that are saying that Greenwood is not allowed here. They're not saying he's not allowed, but they're saying that we don't want him. We don't want him playing for our team. We don't want him here. This. We don't want Greenwood. So Greenwood's gonna be like, all right, listen, you guys didn't want me. I want to play football. I am a football player. How old is Greenwood? 22, 23? Man, there is how many years in that kid to get football and trophies and Ballon d'Ors from him? We're just going to easily give him to Real Madrid. Because let me tell you, they're going to sell Mason Greenwood for peanuts. We're going to sell him for 40 million. They should slap a motherfucking 100 million on him right now. If Real Madrid want him, cool, take him. But then you pay this much. Let's not let Mason Greenwood, and I'm saying, like, even if Garnacho, it's the same thing for Garnacho. If Garnacho fucks up, and then all of a sudden people want him gone, like, are we gonna let him go? Just like, I don't know if you understand where I'm coming with.
No, I get what you're saying. I just want to
I understand the gravity of the situation. Don't get me wrong. But then it was between, I would have totally understood if, and maybe, like, if the abused was like there were multiple and there were just random chicks, like chicks that, no, like, I would have, like, okay, then there seems to be a fucking problem here with this kid, because this kid can't seem to put this thing in his pants. He wants these people to do this. I get it, but it's with his girlfriend. It was a moment, like, how many, and I hate to say things like this, people are being abused every day. They're not everybody sees what's going on. Not everybody sees what's going on, but it's just that because if somebody exposes it, then it becomes a big problem. But it's not a fucking problem, because the girl has forgiven him. The guy is free. They didn't find him. It is you, the fan, that is choosing. What is this? Court of public opinion. What bullshit is that? Court of public opinion. Public opinion. Sort of. Let this guy come and play. Look at him. Look at him at Getafe. They're giving him responsibilities. He's scoring penalties with left foot, right foot. He's scoring bangers after bangers. He hasn't changed. He's the generational talent we all believe that he is. We know who Greenwood is. Let us not be foolish to let him go. And when I say United have got this knack, maybe some of the players that we've lost in the past, they might have not been Mancunian, they might have not been English, but then you look at the situation and you be like, we let go of this. For example, Fred. I don't even want to go far. Fred would have done us a world of, like, he would have done a job for us this season, especially when you think about the predicament that we're in, the whole midfield situation. Fred, come on. Fred was a baller. Fred did his business, but we let go of him. Now, I'm not saying Fred, but United turned to do things like that. Get rid of a player that shouldn't go, who should remain, and then we keep the Dodi, the Masimba at United. You understand?
Yeah.
We keep the shit. Bro, I love Mason Greenwood. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I condone what he did, but man, come on. We're almost clocking how many years? We're almost clocking a year and a half now. We're clocking some time. People are forgetting about what Greenwood did, and they're looking at how he's performing. And he is performing. That is what talks. Football, your football talks. And let me tell you something. Greenwood, and what I said even in the beginning, D, I was like, Greenwood's football is what's going to speak for him. You guys can do whatever you want. This kid can go anywhere in this world and he will be a star. Why should we let him go? Why? I'm seeing these rumors, swap deals. Why? He's our player. He's still contracted to United until 2026. Why? Why are we doing this? I don't fucking get it.
Oh man, I wish I could have a beer now during this conversation. It's just a shame I'm going to work after this.
Dude. And you know what, D? We will sit, and this is the thing that I wanted to actually mention, especially in the intro, when we're
Yeah.
talking about people are not patient.
Yeah.
Football is not patient. People want now, now, now. People nowadays they don't look to
Yeah.
the future. They don't look ahead,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to football. And that makes me sad. It actually even annoys me because I tend to do that. I'm always doing that. I'm always
Yeah.
looking at the bigger picture. I'm always looking at further down the line. Like, how is this thing going to pan out? How this is going to affect us? How this is going to do this? That's how I'm seeing. We are going to keep Marcus Rashford, who is on 300 plus K. Nah, he's gonna continue doing his silly things. Ah, it's fine. Slap on the wrist because he just did this. He apologized. He's professional, cool. But he's not a Greenwood. Rashford is not Greenwood. When I say he's not Greenwood, I mean playing wise. I You will get a consistent double-digit figure haul from Mason Greenwood than you will from Marcus Rashford. And we're
But
gonna get rid of Greenwood.
but you
We're
see
gonna get
now,
rid of Greenwood, and you're gonna keep Marcus Rashford.
but you
Uh-huh.
see now, but you see now, like earlier, I think it was last year when we were having this conversation, and we said the
Yeah.
problem with the sports industry is exactly what you said right there, is
Yeah.
that these big name or these players that how can I put it, that are doing big things in their respective sports are given this allowance to get away with bad behavior because of what they're doing for their team. And that's something that they're trying to strip away from the sporting industry. I mean, it got bad with who was this football player, the guy who killed his wife, and he the guy in the white Ford Bronco. You know him? What's his name again?
OJ.
OJ Simpson. You know what I mean? And somehow
And you
managed to
said
pull a
football. Hey,
yeah,
you.
and managed to pull a wool over not everyone, and managed to pull the wool over the court's eyes in his favor, and was found innocent when we all know he did it. You get what I'm saying? And everyone was for him because he was this great superstar. You get, but if you're
Are
not
we
that great,
equating Greenwood to OJ?
I'm not equating. I'm just trying to like say like
Similarity.
I'm not no not similarities. I'm trying to say like in your statement, you're like,
Uh,
okay, here's Marcus Rashford. It's fair that we can get him out the club and bash on him and blah 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 because he's being paid so much and he's not doing the numbers on the pitch. But here's Mason Greenwood, right? Who allegedly, and I'm not gonna speak anything past that. I'm just gonna use the word allegedly,
uh,
did whatever he did with his girlfriend, like whatever's been whatever cleared up. But
yeah.
what he's heinous, whatever he's being accused for, is not
Yeah.
gonna come anywhere close to Marcus Rashford going to Belfast. Do you get what I mean? But it's somehow
Uh-huh.
we want to like put like oh
No.
Greenwood, let's just dismiss this allegation, but Rashford for going to Belfast, fuck you, get out of the club, blah, 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 blah. And you're
No,
like
no, no, no. No, no,
and
no.
and
You
then
know when
and
I
then it,
gave
and then it's backed up by oh we should forgive him because he's this great player. Whereas they're like, look, we're not dismissing all of that. We just want to not make it seem like because you perform on the pitch, whatever you do can just be forgotten about and brushed to the side like it never happened. You get what I mean? And then if you don't perform on the field, then we're allowed to come at you. You get what I'm saying? So
okay.
yeah, so I was just trying to like point out in your statement.
Okay,
And I
so
look and I get it's how you feel. I get it's how you feel, but I'm just putting a statement out there. You get what I'm saying?
no. When I gave the comparisons of the Rashford staying in the Greenwood, I was purely talking about their footballing sense. Because
Yes.
I think I even mentioned to you, and I want to apologize to our fans that day, you posted um that um that clip of me, and I was not very I was harsh. I listened to that.
Which
I
clip
was
was this?
upset. The Rashford
Oh
situation, the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Rashford
yeah,
going
yeah,
to Belfast.
yeah, yeah,
At
yeah,
that particular moment, I was really angry with
yeah,
Rashford. Obviously, it was a personal message, so
yeah,
it was filled with a lot of profanity. But that
yeah,
that's not necessarily what I was feeling. Like in terms
yeah,
of like, I was like, okay, we can still fix this thing. My thing with Rashford is I've already realized that he's not that great player we thought he would be.
Mm,
That's my thing. Rashford, I'm sorry, I have already found him out, and Rashford is not who I put Rashford on a pedestal. Trust me.
mm,
Him being the number 10, him bursting out into the scene. Rashford has got a lot of goals like for United compared to a lot of players. People don't know he's just climbing up. He's got a lot of goals. But then when you look at how those goals have been distributed, it has been wishy-washy. And for
yeah,
me, like when you think about how all these great teams are and how they're moving forward, all their players are very consistent. I don't get any consistent vibe from Rashford. And I got that
yeah,
this year. This year confirmed everything for me.
yeah,
Beginning of the season, like it confirmed it. Just I was like, really, Rashford, really, really, dude. You, I can't back you up anymore. I
yeah.
used to, I used to debate with people when they used to say Mbappe is better than you, and I would throw your
Mm,
name in there. The time when you were there, like it was like that. It was that deep. Like what? At that time, Marcus Rashford was towering over Mbappe. Mbappe was a baby. Rashford was the guy for the big games. Rashford was Mr. I can handle the pressure. And we were having those conversations. You can't have those
yeah,
conversations about Marcus Rashford anymore. You can't. It has just changed. Now you thought that it
yeah.
would build. Like like I'm gonna say something that's very, very controversial. People are gonna be like, really, Ben? But I honestly, at the time when he was good, I honestly thought he was
Yeah,
better than Mbappe. Do you understand? Like I thought
yeah,
Mbappe had nothing on Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford was eating people, bro. Like on the wing, like you would be standing there and he would give you a spy two, and you won't even know how that spy took, and he's still motoring and move. Rashford
yeah.
was unplayable. I I had that feeling, and we were like, and one of my boys were like, "I've sack when I bend." What do you mean? I'm like,
Mm.
no, man. At this particular time, Rashford is doing the business. Now, I thought Rashford was gonna kick it off from there. He didn't. He didn't.
You
Now
know,
you can
you know.
obviously blame Ole for overplaying him, and then the injuries and all that, because there are a lot of those things that also happen. I'm not forgetting those things. But then every great player or every player that is destined for greatness doesn't allow those little things to stop them. Now I'm not
You know.
questioning Marcus Rashford's mentality or anything like that. But at this
Mm,
point, like I think I even mentioned in one of my VNs,
yeah,
Rashford's period, his honeymoon period is over. Like that
yeah,
period of him be like that ambiguity from him, like he's still young, or he's getting to his peak, or like there's that thing. Marcus Rashford has passed that level, like where you're not sure if he's still young, if he will get better. He has passed it. Do you understand? It's maybe too. That's how I see it. Like I think it has already passed. When I look at every other wingers in his age, and like they seem to be improving. They seem to be
yeah.
getting. You understand? And he seems to be sort of stagnant. So for me, in that way, I feel like we're not going to get the best of Rashford. Unfortunately, he's a Mancunian. From the academy, he will have pull and weight.
Yeah.
But
You know what, Ben? You know what
between
I
him
think it is?
and Greenwood, I think Greenwood is
Yeah.
the highest. That's what I
But
think. Like
you know
that's
what it is, ne? You know what it is. I think, in all fairness, right? I don't think that, you mentioned something very important there. You said that, he was destined for greatness. Like, I don't think anyone is destined for greatness. I don't think greatness chases anybody. You know, I think that you need to chase greatness. And I think the biggest mistake that United made was putting that idea into Rashford's head. Because as far as I'm concerned, I actually don't remember a time Marcus Rashford has ever stood in front of a camera, has ever come out, or has ever posted or whatever, or has ever announced that I want to be the best in the world. I want to be great. You
never,
know, now,
never.
when you look at players like Neymar, when you look at players like, and we're talking about, these are the so-called successors to obviously Ronaldo, Messi, Pele, Maradona. When you look at players like Mbappe, how Haaland, you know what I mean? These players have literally come out and they have put it to the world, I'm going to be the best. You get what I'm saying? So already in that statement, you can tell the difference in the state of mind. You can tell that mentality difference. That here you got a player who has come out and said, I want to be the best in the world. Here's another player where it's like the club is saying, we want him to be the best in the world. You check. As far as I'm concerned, Marcus Rashford just wants to be a very good player for Man United. You
A
know,
United great.
we're the ones who are giving ourselves heartache. We're the ones who are stressing ourselves because we're saying, Marcus, you're destined for greatness. No, destiny doesn't chase anybody. You have to chase destiny. You know what I'm saying? Destiny's not gonna be like, hey, I want you to be great. I'm chasing. No. If you want it,
Pastor.
you have to find fucking want it. You check what I'm saying? Ronaldo wanted to be the best player in the world. Messi wanted to be the best player in the world. Mbappe wants to be the best player in the world. Haaland. That's why the fuck they're doing what they're doing every single time when they step on that motherfucking pitch. Because they tell
Can I get
themselves,
an
I
amen?
am the fucking best. You get what I'm saying?
Can
Rashford is
I
fucking
get an
dude.
amen, my people?
I'm telling you now, if people can't see it, Marcus is very content where he is in his career. He's earning the big
Yeah!
bucks. He's at
And
the
that's
biggest club in the
annoying
world.
me, T.
He's not worried about,
Yo.
I'm trying to break a record. I'm trying to chase Rooney. Nothing. He's not concerned about that. He's just happy being a very good player at United. Meantime, we are out just stressing ourselves like this guy should be better than Mbappe. Why? When he doesn't want to. We're taking him to the river. He doesn't want to drink. Why are we forcing him? You check what I'm saying? Mbappe wants to be
You,
great. Rashford doesn't want to be great.
you,
You know
you.
what I mean, fam?
Ah,
So
so you now okay.
that's
So you
the
see, you get my point.
thing.
I love
Yes.
this. Like you threw me a curveball with this. You made
Yeah.
me think that what I said you're about to tear into it. Then you just
Yeah.
top spin me with this shit. Ah, bro, you bastard. Hey man, because like you got me,
Uh,
you motherfucker, you got me. You got me, Pastor B. Because
I could see it. Every time I try to talk, Ben is like, nah. I'm getting this shit off my chest. I don't want you to spoil my party now until I'm done talking. You know?
no, bruh, you are
Mm.
preaching. Like you just told our people in a different way how like they shouldn't have so much expectation on Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
And
If he
you
doesn't
know,
want it
it's
for himself, why do we want it for him?
hey,
Why? Why? Why are we talking about Marcus Rashford winning Ballon d'Ors when he doesn't want it himself? If he wanted
bro.
it, you would see the effort on the pitch. When you watch Haaland play, when you watch Mbappe play, when you watch all these other great players that are coming up, you can see that hunger and desire in the eyes. With Rashford, it's
Bro.
not there. It's literally not there. He couldn't be asked. You know, he's just very good at being where he is right now in his career. And that's it. And we also just need to accept that. When you look at Garnacho, that boy is just hungry. He's hungry for greatness. He's
Why? Tell me
relentless.
something.
He's like a
Why is it
fucking
that
pit bull on
foreigners
that pitch.
are like that? Why are foreigners more hungry than the home? Why?
I don't. And
I've
look,
never understood this.
you know what?
Like
This one,
even in my career, like in my time going out and
yeah.
playing and meeting foreign players, man, foreigners always wherever it is that they are in whatever country, they always give it 100.
You know
Always.
what, Ben? In all honesty, and this is something that I've noticed being around in the UK. So this is a little bit off topic, and I'm not taking any digs at people from the UK. It's not like you asked for it. You were born into the system, into this society. You know, you live in a first
Yeah,
world country. You get what I mean? You're not going to have the problems that we have coming from underdeveloped countries or countries that are developing or a third world or whatever. You know, the
true,
struggles and the hustles are different there. You're built
true.
different. You know what I mean? You fight from the second you are born to live. You check what I mean? Every day is a fucking hustle. You know,
Yes, sir.
here I'm not saying there are no problems in the UK. Don't get me wrong. You know, they also have their own set of problems, but you cannot compare first world problems to the countries where these guys are coming from. They
True.
understand the importance of hard work, dedication, grit. You get what I mean? I'm not saying you can't get that from people from first world countries, you know,
You can.
but you can get
But
it. But it just comes natural to us. We're
the
just born
hunger is
fighters.
different.
The
Yeah.
hunger is different. You know what I mean? We come with purpose. You know, me and Chuma having a conversation about it the other day. Like you said, foreigners coming into the country not only on football, but just even in general.
In
You know,
general,
we come here with a purpose. We don't come here for holiday. We don't land here and be like we're gonna go see Big Ben. Now we get here, we start grafting. You know what I
one
mean?
time,
We know
one
why
time.
we're here. You know,
Yes, sir.
Ganacho, Anthony, all those players, whatever, Fred, all these foreign players, when they come here, they know why they're here. You know, football is their life, is their job. You know what I mean? And in order for them to keep their job and be successful and, build their life and give themselves the things that they never had, they know that hard work needs to go into it. And it's not going to be
Yes.
given to them. You check
Hey,
what I mean? It's not going to
hey.
be given to them. So that's where that hunger comes from. You know, that's where it comes from.
Now with Rashford, like, so what is it now that we need to do? Should we just accept him as just a player?
That's the
Because
thing. But it's two ways about it. You have to cut
we're
his
not going to
salary,
get
number one,
through.
and we're not gonna do
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Because clearly you can't be that player that we're gonna be depending on. He's just not gonna be
you see,
that
that's the
player.
thing. You can't
So it's
depend
either
on
we
him.
sell him or we demote him. And he's not gonna be demoted. So the best thing to do is sell him. Because if we're looking for the future, he has to assume that role in the future plan. That
Yeah.
just not gonna be the player that we need to rely on. How is it that we're relying more on Kobe Menu than Rashford? And remember, Ben, and I remember we even spoke about this. I remember we spoke about Kobe even before he came back from injury. And I was telling you, Ben, that I saw Kobe playing a lot during preseason, and knowing how I know Ten Hag, he has plans for this boy. And whatever I saw from preseason, Ben, I even
It
told you
was
that when
enough,
this boy is ready to play, he's going to fucking play. This boy,
bro.
what the
That
little I
game,
saw from him in preseason was enough to convince me
that
that there's something here. There's
the
something here.
Arsenal game, and the
Yeah.
for me it was even the Real Madrid,
Yes.
because even though the Real Madrid was he made of because that's the time he got injured, but that
Yeah.
little cameo, that little
Man.
start that he had, that midfield
Hey.
was organized. I saw I think Kamavinga, was it Kamavinga and Cruz, or Cruz and bro, they were struggling. Like they were like you could see
And
the sweat was,
dude,
and I'm
and
like,
what's so impressive is his stature, but he dominates the midfield like he's fucking Paul Pogba holding the ball. Even in the Premier League, like he just knows how to articulate his body. You just see him shift and just like shrugging off bigger players and like how are you doing that? How are players not getting the ball off you? How? Scott
now
McTominay, they touch him, he goes flying like Superman. You know what I mean? And you're like wondering, like, how is this? Like Kobe just every time I watch Kobe play, I'm always like mind fucked. I'm always like, how? How? You know what I mean?
so
Especially when you look at the size, the age, the everything. Like, how is this even possible? You know? It's like you see
yeah.
like a 6-year-old just coding. You're like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Who
Like,
taught you
who
that,
taught
dude?
you that?
He was go and play
How
with
can you be
Legos.
so young and you're doing this?
Ah,
You check what I mean? Like, nah,
yeah.
man. Kobe and that goal, guys. I mean, that Wolves goal. Come
It
on, man.
was a
Fuck it.
beauty.
Man,
If
man,
I could do a
Kobe.
backflip while sitting, I
Yeah.
would have done it that day.
Damn,
Like, bro,
damn.
that
Like Kobe,
that
Kobe has just become like my favorite player. Like I get Ganacho is exciting. I get the fieriness from Haaland. I get it. But man,
yeah.
Kobe's special, man. To me right now,
He
man.
gives you that.
I
He gives you
I
that
feel like
zen
dude, I
calm.
feel like I feel like this like older brother figure to him. Like I just feel
Yeah,
like if I'm in Manchester one day and someone's picking on him, like I'll just go and drop
you
them.
go
Like, do
mad.
not even, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, stay
yeah.
away from. Don't even come next to
I
him.
will
I
beat
don't
your
want.
ass.
I
Yeah.
will beat you. You know what I mean? This one is
You-
going places. It's special. This one. You know what I mean? Like, oh man,
Now,
Kobe, Kobe,
D,
Kobe.
now I don't want
Mm,
to do this. I don't want
yeah.
to do this.
All right.
But like this is just it's in the conversation. Like, for you see how you see the gem of Kobe that he is. We manufactured this human being.
I
We
see where this is
manufactured him.
going. I see
Yeah,
where
you
this is
do.
going.
You do.
Okay,
You
Ben.
do. Yes. No,
Don't
yeah.
take it there. Don't take it there. You know
No, no,
what,
no, no,
Ben?
no, no.
Look,
This
look,
is just
look,
between
look.
me and
You
you.
know
Wait,
what?
wait, wait,
You know,
wait,
you know
wait.
what? You know, okay.
Hypothetical.
Stop. Okay. All right. All
Hypothetical.
right. Man.
Please just humor me. Humor me.
Okay, I'm
Humor
gonna start.
me.
Let me start by saying this. Let me start by saying this.
Uh,
Right? I'm gonna start by saying this. All right. All these players that found themselves in situations. Let's not forget the most important thing here is
huh?
that they did this to themselves. So
Okay.
I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
above
True.
and beyond everything, Whatever the consequence is, right? This is obviously I
Should be
know
the same.
this. Obviously, I know this is segueing in back into the Mason Greenwood thing, but this is the same holds for Rashford. This is the same holds for Sancho, right? Whatever the consequence is after all the tears have dried, it's at the end of the day, you did this to yourself. You know what I mean? No one forced you to go to Belfast. No one forced you to send a tweet. No one forced you to go and do what you have allegedly been accused for. You did that to yourself. So you have to accept and deal with the consequences. That's the first thing I'm going to say, you know? Now, like you said,
Eh,
Mason Greenwood, this generational talent, you know, like you've mentioned that time has passed, the partner that he's with has forgiven him, they're still together, they have the child, all of this, all of that. You know what, Ben? I know you want something out of me, but to be truth be told, I
you
have
don't.
no opinion.
You have
I
nothing.
don't even wanna. I don't wanna come. For me, this is taboo. I don't wanna come anywhere near this situation. For me, this situation is too deep for me to even have an opinion about it. You know. So for me, it's if he stays at United, he stays at United. You know what I'm saying? If he gets sold, he gets sold. And
Yes,
that's where I'm
so
gonna leave it. I do not want to go anywhere near this conversation. I'm sorry. And only because
I
of
feel.
what he's being accused for, you know. And like you said, we're living in the modern world, right? And even like what you mentioned, these things, and it's not like you want to say it, but you're just putting out there, these things happen every day. You check what I mean? But at the same time, we're also not saying, so the audience doesn't mistaken us, that it doesn't mean that we don't have any morals. We get it's
Yeah.
wrong. You know what I mean? And we're not saying it because it happens every single day. We must just let this one go because it still happens. No, we're not trying to say that. You check what I mean? But I'm just saying because, man, this was not a tweet. You know what I mean? This was not like a skip to another country. Man, this allegation,
This was
fam.
a big
You know what I
fucking
mean?
deal.
I don't want to disrespect or speak in a weird way that'll catch someone wrong, and like you said,
Yeah.
nowadays you do something wrong, you get cancelled. Look at what you call his face, Kurt Zuma, kick the cat, boom. You know what I mean?
That guy
And
received the
and
wrath.
and worse for him, it happened here in the UK because UK, man, like these guys really
They don't play
respect and
around with the
treasure
animals.
and they really care for animals. It's a thing. If this happened in Africa, it's just another day. You know what I mean? It's just another Tuesday. But here, you don't do that stuff. You get what I'm saying?
I
So
do. I feel.
you get what I mean? But again,
Okay. Okay. No,
obviously,
I
cats,
hear you on
human,
that
you
too.
can't compare. Yeah. So as much as
Now
I
I.
really want to have an opinion on this, Ben, I really do, but I just don't wanna because I just feel
Okay.
like if I speak one way, I'm not acknowledging someone else the other side. You get what I mean? And like I said, and you also said it yourself, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and you can understand where everybody is coming from. You check. So at the end of the day, it's just what's meant to be. You know what I mean? You leave this in the hands of God. You leave this in the powers of the universe. If he has to return, he will return. You know, and
No. You know the I understand.
everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out. But I'm not going to sit here and
I
dude.
understand. I understand all of that. My question to people is:
Okay,
are we banishing Mason Greenwood for what he did and like he can never come? Like what he did is breaking one of the commandments and you just cannot be in this thing. Like people don't want him completely, and the reason is because of that. Or like I'm really trying to understand what it is because the guy's playing
yeah,
football. He's
yeah.
not going to be in your space. Like he's not going to. Yes, he represents your club, but do you understand what is it about that whole situation that is
Okay,
making people say,
all right,
listen?
all right, all right, all right. Obviously,
Yeah,
look, I get it because it's very sentimental and it's very deep for you and you're Manchester United supporter, you love whatever, and I get
yeah,
that. But I sort of
yeah.
feel like we can't. I feel like we can't reason on that level. Do you get what I mean? And I'm gonna give it
Mhm.
a quick example. All right, here's R. Kelly, fucking makes. Ben, I get pissed off because I'm like,
Yo, don't
R. Kelly
the
did was fucked up, but I just can't help but still enjoy his music. So I have this like guilt feeling every time I listen
bro,
to his music, because I'm like, I
bro.
shouldn't be listening to this. Like after what I found out that he has been doing, I honestly shouldn't be listening to his music.
But
Do you get what I
why?
mean?
But
No, Ben.
why?
You know what, Ben? But it's that thing again of saying that, oh, but RK doesn't live here. He's not interrupting my life. You know what
No,
I
no,
mean?
no,
But
no. Uh-huh.
he's interrupting someone else's life. He's disturbed
Listen,
someone else's peace. Do you get
I
what I'm
get it.
saying? So I
You know,
can't
with that,
I can't be selfish. I can't be
uh,
selfish with my feelings and ignore someone else's feelings. Do you get what I'm saying? I can't
yeah.
say, oh, it's not affecting me. So if I'm cool with it, everybody should be cool with it. You get what I mean? Then I just feel like
Right.
you're sort of being selfish with your feelings. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I don't want to dismiss anybody else's feelings because this is not minor. It's not like even if we're forgotten about it and time has passed and whatever and all of this, and I get it, you know what I mean? But that allegation is still gonna stick. So even when the story is being told, that's the part where you go silent in the story and you start mumbling and whispering your words before you start continuing talking about his greatness. Do you get what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, Mason Green was good. Yes, and then that part where he had this allegation. But then afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's forever going to be that story is never ever gonna be told different.
But
You see
I
what I'm
feel like
saying,
that
fam?
is
So
society.
you're just
That
stuck.
is the
You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you just have to let destiny play it out. Like whatever God's plan was with this situation, it is. Do you get what I mean? Maybe it's just maybe Greenwood was just never supposed to be for us. Maybe that had to happen so he could be great for another club that needed him more than us.
you talk
Maybe
like that.
Gatafi needs Mason more than we need him. Maybe they do, and that's why it had to happen this way. You
You
check.
see, G, if you put it like that, then cool.
Mm,
Because you know me, I don't question God. I
mm,
don't. Aha,
yeah,
I will never do that. If you put it in that, because I was still thinking on the fanatical kind of situation.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking that as a fan,
No, I get
and
that. I get that.
but if you put it like that, then I totally understand. But here's my
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You see with the R. Kelly. R.
yeah,
Kelly is one of those situations where they're like, okay, if you listen to R. Kelly's music, you are still paying him, you're still doing that. Now,
yeah,
let's just say you're an R. Kelly fan for years. Because in my
yeah,
old laptop, né,
yeah,
I have got Kills for years.
yeah,
I'm not even man, R. Kelly's music,
yeah,
man, king
yeah,
of R&B.
yeah.
People can miss me with that bullshit.
Asha,
He
Asha,
was
Asha,
oh Asha.
Asha is king of R&B, guys.
You know what? Listen, they had different.
No, I
But
get you. I get
they
you.
are
You
like
know what?
they're like
This conversation is like a Messi, Ronaldo, BMW, Mercedes Benz type of conversation. You
bro,
know what I
like
mean? But me, I
it
I
was it.
fully stand. Like for me, I respect your opinion, but for me, it's
No,
Asha. Asha is king of R&B.
yes. Do you know what, D? If I if
Yeah,
I if I break it down for you, Asha came
yeah,
after. During the time when R. Kelly was on peak with his R&B music, he was the
yeah.
best. No
Yes, I'm
one
not
came
gonna.
close to him.
Yeah, but
Yes.
but that
And
but
then
that's how it
Asha,
always works.
yeah, and then Asha came in. So basically, what I was saying is that there are two different artists that are goats in their own different ways because their music
True,
are totally
true,
different.
100%,
Like
hundred
R.
percent,
Kelly's music is completely different to Usher's music, and you can't
100%.
try and bring them together. But no, this is a fuck. What
Yes,
I'm
yes, yes, yes.
basically
Let's leave
saying,
it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, basically what I'm saying is they would say that no, you are still paying R. Kelly for his music
yeah,
because of what he's done, and
yeah,
uh, and I get that. Like I'm not
yeah.
trying to say, but then when he made that music, like even after I've known, like what has got the music got to do with the situation?
Look,
Like
it
how are
like
those two things? How are they put in together? Unless you're talking about putting money in R. Kelly's
yes,
in R. Kelly's
yes,
fund,
yes, yes.
you're doing
Because
that.
yes, that's the correlation. Because now, like they said, you're funding him to continue doing what he's doing. So cut him off by the knees. You know what I mean? So he
Eh,
can stop
But then,
doing that.
but his
Hurt him
music,
where hurt him.
his
You get what I'm
music
saying?
doesn't change. Yes.
No, yes, it doesn't change. It doesn't
Then
change.
this is my thing, D. The society, human society, we like to mix like we like to mix things.
Yeah,
His music on its own is amazing.
yeah,
R. Kelly The guy that made the music is a
Yeah.
problem. We like
Yeah.
to mix the problem with his music. How? Because this is the exact same thing that I'm talking about with Greenwood. You mix
Ben,
the situation that he has done with his. How? I still
like
cannot
even
understand.
like even in normal society,
Uh,
you can't separate it. You get what I mean? Like you can't be like, and
uh-uh. Saying
this
you
what brings
can't.
this what brings Ben
This is why I
Ben.
disagree. Saying you
Look,
can't.
this is what brings me
This is why I
back.
don't
Look,
agree.
look, it's like, oh, Jesus forgives our sins, so Jesus can go and slap around kids. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's almost like, because you're giving us okay, maybe that was a very extreme
Yeah,
example. That was
yeah,
an
yeah.
extreme example. But let me just put it like this. Let me just put it like this. It's like what you're saying is, because like R. Kelly is giving us good music, you know, let him go and do whatever he
Uh-uh,
wants to do.
uh-uh.
Do you get
No,
what I'm saying? Because
no.
Ben,
His
look,
music
because you're
did
speak
nothing.
look, look,
His music
look,
did nothing.
look.
His music is a file that makes
Yes,
people
Ben,
happy.
but you can't allow, like, due to what he's doing, how can you still allow this guy to go and continue making music and say no, it's different? You get what
Maybe
I
I'm
mean?
confusing.
It's like it's
Okay,
it's like you
so I
saying
wanna.
no, his music is his music. You know what I mean? Let's attack him on the personal side, but let's leave the music alone. Because like, okay, it will convict you, whatever, but still go and produce albums and stuff. It doesn't make sense. It can't work like that, Ben. It can't. You know, because you are. I don't know how to put
Okay,
this.
D.
You
Before you
can't you
just
can't
hold
you
that thought.
can't be like.
Hold that
Mhm.
thought. Say
Okay.
you're in a group of people. Like I'm trying to make you. I'm trying to see if I can make you understand my point. We're in a group. We're in a situation with a group of people having conversations, and
Yeah.
then people ask you about um, R. Kelly's music, not R. Kelly, his music, right?
Okay.
His
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
And are you going to judge R. Kelly pissing on kids or his music?
I get your point. Let me give you a more real example what happened. All right.
Uh,
So the last job I had in Pretoria, I had obviously work colleagues with me in the office, right? So one of my work colleagues, she's a girl, okay? And we used to have this thing on Fridays, sometimes we'll play music while we're working. All right. And I think because we'd get into like deep conversations sometimes, okay? And I think we got into the conversation of the whole R. Kelly thing, whatever. And for her, because she's a woman, you know, for her, when that whole R. Kelly thing broke out, it hit different for her. So for her, she had, I don't want to say no choice, but because of her own
to
reasons and
support.
whatever, she just couldn't. She's like, nope, I'm not listening to R. Kelly anymore. I'm deleting all R. Kelly, and I would appreciate it if you guys wouldn't play R. Kelly music. Do you get what I mean? Because I used to, this is remix to ignition on a Friday. You check what I mean? So out of respect for her, I wouldn't play R. Kelly. Do you get what I'm saying? I wouldn't. Like if I'm in her presence, I wouldn't play R. Kelly because I'm respecting her feelings towards the man, you know, and she doesn't want to. Like,
Okay,
yeah, the
but D,
music is good, but
that's just you respecting boundaries and respecting your colleagues. Like obviously you wouldn't take a piss if I've just told you that D, man, me, I'm not feeling comfortable with this, and then you
but
just
what
go
I'm
ahead.
saying, but
That's
what I'm
just
saying is
you.
that, but what I'm
Uh,
saying is, like, obviously, she's not the only person that feels that way. Do you get what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so
So if
okay,
so
so you
even with
don't play the
so even
music
with
or you
regards,
play it by yourself.
so even with no, I don't even play, dog. I promise you, I don't play R. Kelly music, and it's not because of that reason. You know what I mean? Like
What's the reason why you don't play it?
I'm not a big R. Kelly fan like you are. I told you I'm an Asha fan. You get what I mean? So there are obviously tracks of R. Kelly that I do listen to, but if I'm listening to them, it's just when they appear on this on if I'm maybe playing a playlist or whatever. I listen through it. I have my little guilt feeling about listening to it, and life goes on. Right now,
Why? That's what I'm
let
not
me bring this
understanding.
Ben. Ben, now let me bring this back to the Mason Greenwood situation, right? Now, like I said, in that situation with the work colleague, right? She's one person, but I know also other females feel the same way about it, right? So now replacing R. Kelly with Mason Greenwood. Someone would come and say, look, as a woman, I don't appreciate what he did. Yes, they're back with the girlfriend, whatever, whatever, whatever. But it's not going to change the fact that the allegations that are put out there, right? So this may not be one person, it could be a collective of people, right? So now when you bring Greenwood in that situation,
How does what?
there's going to
Uh-huh.
be a section of the fan base, and also this is gonna hold true for some of the guys. Some of the guys also are like, no, we can't accept him after what he did. You know what I
No,
mean?
they don't.
So
No, people want him back. They want him
yes,
back
yes, but Ben, we
because
can't also
he's been found.
we can't look, we can't
Listen,
refuse. Look, we can't also refuse that there's also another section of the community that don't want him back. That's a fact. You know what I mean? It's a fact. We can't say that the whole United, when Mason Greenwood comes in, they're gonna be applauding, standing up, whistling his name. There's gonna be a certain
they would
part
get
of the fan
used to
group
it.
that are not going to are not gonna want it or appreciate it. You get. So for me, so for me, I put it to you like this, Ben, and that's why I put it to you like this. Like, look, if you honestly love and respect this player, and you want to see his talent not being wasted, then let him go and be that player that he needs to be. If it's not at United, then it's not
Somewhere
at
else.
United. Then if it's not at United, it's not at United. Unfortunately, look, Ben. Speaking from let me speak as a fan. All right, let me speak as a fan. As a fan, I want Greenwood back in United. I want him back. I want him back. I don't care about anything. I want him back. That's me speaking as a United fan. You know, above and beyond that, taking everything into perspective, I give you the same answer I gave you when we started this topic, that whatever is in his plans, for whatever he did, I let it play out. And I'll respect whatever has to come from it. Whether it's him coming back to the club or him going to Real Madrid or whatever, then that's just how his story was written out. And I'm
You
and I
see,
can and personally I can live with it. Because at the end of the day, Ben, like I said, if you saying that you are a big fan of him, what's your alternative then? If he doesn't play for Man United, then he should never play football again. Wouldn't you
no,
just rather? Wouldn't you rather see him going playing at another club?
no,
Yes, it may be
that's my
Real Madrid.
thing.
Yes, no, I get it. I get it.
No, no, no.
You
I said
I
it. Like
yeah,
he's special.
I get it.
He like if and here's the thing also. If he was just a mediocre player, I would have been okay with him not coming back to United. I have a problem because he's that good. Do
Yeah,
you understand? You
I
will not
get it.
see you look at here's my thing. You see, look at Real Madrid. Real
Yeah,
Madrid, that case, I don't know if you know about this thing. That case of those boys, those boys that the what who were involved in some scandal of
yeah.
raping a chick. I don't know if you know about it, like 4 or 5 boys in the Real Madrid and B team. They were
Nah, I
involved
didn't
in
hear
some
about that.
check it out. Since
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
Man, Real Madrid and all these things, they're just playing them under. Mendy. Mendy, like you look at his thing, his public bust up. Like, yeah, Man City just let people dictate everything. But then wasn't Mendy not guilty?
I don't know what the
Mendy.
verdict was. I don't know what the verdict
Benjamin Mendy
was.
was not guilty. But
Mm,
because of his life, like he didn't rape anybody. They said that he did. His party life was the way it was. But when they went to court and checked everything, he walked out free. But then his image, you remember when he came out, that's why everybody was saying they
mm,
need to now apologize to Mendy because they dragged his name and they
yeah,
tarnished it. Because
yeah.
here he is right now accused of looking like a rapist, when in actual fact he was just banging chicks for pleasure and they wanted it. It wasn't like he was raping them or doing anything like that. No, but they dragged his name. But then because of that, he had to leave. I don't know what the situation was. He left City and he went back to France.
They didn't want to
Now,
deal with the bad. They didn't want to deal with the bad press, and also give that impression of,
which bad press? Because
Ben.
Mendy, listen, D, everybody was saying Mendy
His
needs to
name
be
was tarnished.
apologized to. Do you
Ben,
understand?
that's just how it works. That's just how it
Okay, so,
works. I
so it's
mean,
the media.
I mean, I mean, Ben,
So you
look.
let
Okay,
you let the
look,
media always control how you guys think. That's why
Ben,
I'm like, this is bullshit.
Ben. But I look. It at the end of the day, it's bullshit, and I agree with you. But what can we do about it?
We
Unless
can say something,
until
D. We can
until we
challenge the
all
people that I think. Because let me tell you something, D. There is a kid out there. who is listening to their older sister or their mother or whatever, they don't really understand why Mason Greenwood is is not coming back to United. But because their mother, whoever it is, they say, he's a rapist, he's this. The guy just, okay, what is a rape? This. And then it just continues. Bro, bro, my thing here is that had it been anybody else, had it been, I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking about preserving
But
your
but
own
but Ben,
creation.
but do you see how that's like contradictive? Because it's almost like you're saying that if it was any other player who's mediocre, they should feel the brunt of the punishment. But because it's
See,
Mason Greenwood, he shouldn't
no,
feel the
not
brunt of the punishment.
no, not feel the brunt of the punishment. What I'm saying is, if they want to sell him, because I have this feeling that we're going to sell Mason Greenwood, and this is why I'm campaigning for us to keep him, because I'm now coming up with all these scenarios to defend him. Do you understand? Like, this has been my MO from the beginning, to
Yes.
defend Mason Greenwood from everything. Not, and not everything, but like, I can't defend him to I can't defend everything, but you understand where I'm coming from with this. I can
Yeah.
still have a say in trying to say, like, make people think, change their mind. Just because people are saying it is like this doesn't mean it is like that. D. Right
Yeah.
now, you are telling me that it's like that. I mean, like, who said it's like that? Society said it's like that?
Then
No.
but
It is
that's
like that if you choose for it to be like that. But then if you, D, think about it, man.
Ben,
Think
how
about it.
many times
How
how many times has this particular situation happened and it has gone the exact same way it's gone? You know?
which
So when I say it's like
but
that,
then other
it's
no no
because
no 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 no
this is
other
just how
clubs.
Ben,
No no
okay,
no no no
okay, okay,
no
Ben,
no no
okay,
no no.
listen to this
D,
one,
I
listen to this
refuse.
one, listen to this one, listen to this one, listen to this one, wait, listen to this one, right? I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. Johnny Depp was accused of harming Amber Heard. I don't know if you know about
I
the famous
follow that
Johnny.
thing. Of
Now,
course.
now, now, what happened to Johnny Depp? He got kicked out of Disney, right? Disney kicked him out, so he couldn't film the last movie of Fantastic Beasts, right? They were supposed to drop another Pirates of the Caribbeans. They dropped him out of it because obviously Pirates was under Disney. All his contracts were frozen and they kicked him out. And that was even before there was even a verdict being given whether he was guilty or not. They went to court. They found out that Amber Heard was talking bullshit. This Johnny Depp
My
did not
point.
abuse her, and he was proven an innocent man. But what I'm trying to say is his name and
Society
whatever society,
was
or
dragged
he was
because of
already
society.
exactly, it was already tarnished. Do you get what I'm saying? It was tarnished. There was nothing you could do
So
during that
let's
period.
fight
Do
society
you
and
get do
stop
you get
this
what I'm saying?
narrative. I'm
Yes,
trying
but
to stop this
what
fucking narrative, D.
yes, no, of course. And I'm not saying that no one should do anything about it, but I'm just saying, unfortunately, the way things go, that's just how it always ends up being like, you know? I mean, what? Dude, he got dropped out of a lot of stuff. I think he was also like the guy for Calvin
No,
Klein, or was it Louis Vuitton? They
yeah,
dropped him.
no,
Dude,
that's
a lot of
true.
brands dropped him. They dropped him
That's
because they
that's
didn't want to deal with the negativity that came with it. You get what I'm saying? So when I say that, the reason why they dropped him, right, it's not me trying to defend it or whatever. I'm just going off what companies and businesses have been doing for the longest time ever. They don't want
okay.
to deal with the backlash. And that's also the
D,
reason why they sent Greenwood away, because they didn't want to, it was going to be an endless story. Do you get what I'm saying? It was going to be an endless story. That's why even when what's his name, Ivan Tony got the whole thing, they had to suspend him, the whole betting thing, because they didn't want to deal with all that negative press. Do you get what I'm saying? So
and he's
it's a
back now.
problem. I'm
He's
not
back.
accepting it. Yeah, he's back now. But what I'm trying to say is that's just the format and the process of how things go, right? I'm not
So
saying
Greenwood can come
I'm
back.
not saying I like it, I accept it or whatever. But if ever you're in that position of power to change things. And this is why we always reach to the influencers. And this is why we get so upset with influencers when they use their influence, then they use their power for the wrong reasons. Because here on our level, what can we do about it? But them at their level, they can actually make proper change. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're on that status of influencer or whatever, your voice will be much better heard than it is now. So all
Bro,
we can do is talk about it. But the guys who have the real power and the real influence are the guys who are sitting on top. So until they do something about it,
true.
right now we
But
just have to
the people,
spectate with what's going on. The mass, exactly. Right now
the
we just have to
mass are
spectate.
contributing into this decision. You understand?
Yeah.
Like they are helping make the decision. Everybody's reacting in the. It's like what we've talked about Manchester United, what they do. They'll
Mm,
pull out something controversial, something that can really cause a heart attack. Just to gauge how we are, how we respond to it, and then take it from there.
yeah.
Like you see, it's bro. Can I tell you
But you
something
know what?
that's funny?
Okay.
You see Van Dijk,
Yeah.
right? Do you believe Virgil van Dijk is the best defender this season? I want to
I
make a
honestly
point.
I honestly don't know, but I look, Liverpool are sitting on top of the league. I don't know if they got the most clean
No,
sheets,
no,
but
no.
I
I
don't
don't want
wanna.
those things. Listen, don't talk about. You see, this is what the British media does. They pick a player, and then they'll be like, "This guy is the best," and they'll say they did it with Ruben Diaz. That thing has fallen out of. It has disappeared. Ruben Diaz is now just a normal player. They brought
Yeah.
it back. They brought it back this season with Van Dijk because Liverpool
Okay.
were top. Now I ask you because I'm sure you've watched certain Liverpool games. Is Van
Yeah, I've
Dijk the
watched a
best
couple.
defender? Is he the best defender in the Premier League?
Man, according to me, I would say no.
Thank you. I can easily name other defenders: Van der Ven, that speedster at Tottenham, Romero,
Yeah. Poro.
Varane. I'm talking about players that are better, that have been playing better than Van Dijk. But
Yeah.
let me tell you what, the British media, Sky, they brought this narrative that Van Dijk is the best because Liverpool were at the top. Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
From where? He
Yeah.
was the best that title winning season. He
Mm,
disappeared, got that major injury, came back, has just been okay.
yeah.
Then Liverpool start this title charge. He's the best. Last season,
Yeah.
what's his name? Saliba was the best defender. Why? Because Arsenal were at the top, right? If you're at the top or whatever, if somebody just says you're the best, everybody, oh yeah, he's the best, he's the best, he's the best. They follow. But like, piss off. What football are you watching? What football are you
Ben,
watching?
but okay, Ben, I get you, but there is some merit to it.
To
There
what
is
Van
some
Dijk being the
merit.
best player in
No, I'm not.
this
I'm
season?
not saying Van Dijk is the best, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're the top team in the league and you're number one, there's got
Uh,
to be some merit to if they'll say that, oh, let's say Wolves were top of the league. There'll be some merit with people saying Neto is currently the best midfielder in the league, right? Because if that wasn't so, then why are they first? Do you get what I mean?
D,
So the
D,
players have
D,
clearly done something to
D.
contribute to it. No, look, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that because your team is number one, every player in that team is the best in their position. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is there are going to be cases and instances where that has merit. All right, it has merit. Fuck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's changing cameras, so I need to.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it has merit. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes it will be true, sometimes it won't be true. Do you get what I mean? In this case, it's not true. But there are gonna be times when City sitting on top of the league and they say Haaland is the best striker in the league. City are number one. Are we going to dismiss that when he has the most goals? City are number one and he's a striker.
that
Are we now saying
no,
that
you
that
see that
doesn't make
example.
sense?
That example, you can't give that example because it won't make sense. I'm talking about defense because
That's
it's
what I'm
very
saying.
like I'm trying to.
Even defense. That season when Liverpool won, when Trent was just scoring and assisting like he's a
They were
fucking
not
four,
conceding
like
much.
like he was a flying winger. Do you get what I mean? So I'm not. I look. All I'm trying to say is sometimes the conversation is not black and white. You know. So I get where they're coming from in terms of the thinking. I'm not saying I agree with them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm just saying that there is some merit for if you're on top of the league for claims to come out like that. And in some cases, it will be true.
Now when they come out with claims like that and we're watching foot. Because man, sometimes when these guys say these things and I watch and we are watching football, I always think that they're taking a piss because they
Yeah.
think we don't understand football. Because
Yeah.
I vehemently disagreed with that. I'm like, that is
Yeah.
bullshit. Don't come here and tell me that Van Dijk is the best defender. For what?
Yeah.
For where? For
Yeah.
how? For
Yeah.
who? For what the fuck? Like, no. And now this is the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
Because those fucking people said that Van Dijk is the best, everybody just jumped onto that bandwagon and started pushing that narrative, even when it's
Yeah.
wrong. This is what I am talking about.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
point I'm trying to make with the fact that with certain things, like just because certain people say it and they're pushing it, doesn't necessarily we can talk about it, we can think
True.
about it, we can
True. True.
dissect the situation and talk about it.
Yes.
Just saying that it is like this, and people must accept. No, no,
Yeah.
no. You
Yeah.
see, that's why I
No,
brought this
and
whole arcade thing, but it's not. I was not trying, but just
yeah.
because
No, I
these
get
people
you.
pass a statement and say that this is it,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
mean
make
it's true. Yes.
yeah.
100%.
And because
100%.
that's because a lot of them who are pushing for this story are saying it, also doesn't make it true. Think for
Yeah.
yourself. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's where I was going with this whole thing.
So yeah, man,
Mm.
Villa next. Like I said, United have been having a good run of form. All right.
Mm.
We've won, I think, four out of our last. Let me not say out of our last. Let me just say the previous four
Four out
fixtures
of
we have
four.
played, we have won. So we beat. Who did we play? We beat Was it Crystal Palace? Yeah,
Yep.
Crystal Palace. We won. Wolves. We won. Newport. We won. And what was the one before that?
Even Villa.
Villa were playing now.
Played.
West Ham. Was it West Ham? And then West Ham
Wow, West Ham. Sorry.
and West
But we
Ham
also
and West
played
Ham.
Villa.
No, we're
Remember?
playing Villa now. We're playing Villa now.
Yeah, I know, but did we not play them?
If we played them, man, I can't even remember. But I'm just talking about these last games. I don't think we played Villa in the last four games. So I'm
Okay.
talking about these last four games. Like basically, since we've gone four games without losing. That's the point from where I'm taking it from. Yes. So
Okay.
my whole point is like this is probably the longest winning run we've had this season. So we're 4 for 4. You check what I'm saying. We haven't lost. We are 4 for 4. Can we go and make it 5? You check. So yeah,
Man,
we're playing Unai's Villa. Like I said, they lost against. They got a demolishing against Chelsea in the FA Cup. They're knocked out of the FA Cup. I'm pretty sure they're coming for blood. I'm sure Unai wants to stay in the Champions League position. What are your thoughts about this game, man? What do you think? What do you think is running through the mind of our manager, fam?
hey, one thing I know, he wants to put out the best squad out there. Now,
Yeah,
obviously, with Aston Villa playing Chelsea, they put out a big squad as well. They were going for the kill. So I don't know how that will affect the game. However, it's an advantage for us because we've had more time to rest, to relax. Just that. Like I know it's very simple, but we've had more time to not do not we've had more time to prepare than what Aston Villa have done because they played during the week.
yeah,
Um Unfortunately, Villa this season, like I mean, we had a conversation like beginning of the season, I think, where we talked about where we were like we kind of tipped Aston Villa to cause mayhem. And fortunately for them, they did most of the hard work in the beginning because they set themselves up, like they've set
yeah,
themselves up for the position that they're in right now. Their points,
yeah,
everything are healthy. They don't need to work. Like if we beat Villa, it's not going to affect them too much because yet again they're going to continue playing very well. Even if it's not against us, if it's not against the top 16, they are still going to beat those other teams. So they really set themselves up very, very nice and they put themselves there.
yeah,
We are on a very nice bounce. I I I can't see these guys take off the foot off the pedal in this situation.
yeah,
I'll lose my mind if they play any other way. I will. I
yeah,
will.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
will
yeah.
literally I will fucking You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what does that mean? Because they've given us some very entertaining football these past two games. They've been on it. And now, especially the last game. You know, like for us to score these amount of goals
yeah,
is like it's mind blowing because you just sit there and be like, yo, when was the last time we ever got this feeling where we're just scoring,
yeah,
like and then you also have this confidence of like, ah, I think we can hold on. I think we can, So they're slowly bringing us back into taking us out of our caves. But a big shout out to Casemiro. That Casemiro combination there in the middle. It's just
yeah,
and
man.
then
It's
with
it's
our Magnifico up there, like
it's
that's
it's
our
it's
dream
def-
midfield.
yeah, man. It's definitely the midfield that we've been waiting for, and I'm just so happy that it's playing out the way it's playing out. You
Yeah,
check.
we're
So
not getting beaten too much in the midfield.
yeah,
All those
yeah,
combative players that thought would just come and bully us because we had Scott McTominay. Where are
exactly.
you? Because there is Kobe, there is Cass. Where are you now? All that counter, that thing of trying to break the line. Have
Yeah.
you seen Casemiro there?
Mm, mm.
Casemiro there. We're just stopping things, interrupting, bulldozing people. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy. Now I know a lot of people are gonna be going mad because Casemiro keeps being removed. Can I tell you guys something? Casemiro is in gear one. He just came back from a long injury. It
Mm.
takes him a little bit of time. If you've been paying attention to your players, you should know it takes Casemiro maybe 3 to 4 games
Yeah.
to start shining.
Yeah.
Just like we get that Pogba, the Pogba bounce.
Yeah.
Casemiro is not yet there with his thing. But the good thing
Yeah.
is that we're putting minutes under his belt. He's
Yeah.
getting minutes in those legs. He's running. Soon, you will see Casemiro giving those no-look passes that he was giving us last season. You will
Yeah.
see him shooting from far, which, by the way, he has got a worldie of a strike in him. So I'm happy. Kobe is now he's becoming a box to box because he's
Mm.
contributing up top. He's
Yeah.
shooting, he's scoring, he is Garnacho. Why have we been playing him on the left? Can somebody answer? Can somebody please answer why? Why have we been wasting our time playing him on the left when
Mm.
the right seems to be his calling? You
Yep.
know, Rasmus Hoyland, man, that goal he scored,
Yeah.
was it against what was it
Which
Wolves?
game was that again?
The one where he got the ball
I
from
I know which one you're talking about. The one he
But
got from Casemiro and belted that thing, man.
bro, you should have seen me. You should have.
Yeah.
I was, oh,
Yeah.
bro, I lost my mind. That
Yeah.
was a good goal. And when
Yeah.
was the last time we scored goals like that, dude? Can you
Mhm.
remind me? I'll
Hey,
wait.
dude. Dude.
It's been a while. So
Yeah.
these couple of games that we've been playing have been good, especially if motivating the fans is concerned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
way we were playing was good. Luke Shaw, Delo, big shout out for one of the blocks of the seasons that he did in one of the games.
Yeah.
Um, Even though I'm still a little bit like, hey, Delo is just, but he did the
Yeah.
job. I was so happy that block was amazing. But then you look again into some of the things that he does. Let's go, misplaces passes. There are small things that he does that I just don't like. But that's
Yeah.
when the team is playing well, everybody's playing well.
True.
I noticed the high fiving, the fist bumps, chest bumps. I was like, this is a good sign because
Yeah.
whenever we do something like that, it means that there's that camaraderie, that togetherness. See, so okay, we are
Yeah.
one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So man, if they change, I don't know what to say to my people. I don't know
Yeah.
because
I
that
I
can
hear
happen.
you, man. I hear you, but hey, man, at the end of the day, football is football. You know what I mean? We just pray that the lads are up to the job. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
hope that they can see the bigger picture here. I hope that they can go into the match and say, you know what? At a certain point of this season, we were written off, not even to qualify for any European tournament, and now we're at the brink of potentially making our way into the top four. So
and
we
people were
don't
saying
need
it's
to
not
lose.
possible. And I'm like,
Exactly. So we don't need to lose sight of that. And the players, the fans, the fans need to get behind the players. The players need to understand the responsibility. They need to
that they
understand the
have.
task at hand. I was really happy that other game where Scott McTominay came in and scored, and I'm like, yes, that's what you should be doing, coming off the bench.
Yeah,
That's
hey, but
where
hey, but
that
that was a
that's where
good
we're
goal.
happy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like we know that's what you can do, but we don't need you starting in the team. We need you coming in, as a wild card, as a wild card sub. You check what I'm saying? So I think it's
that
just
guy's a
about
super
now
sub.
working around that, the balance. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because we still need the balance as well. And we see how things go. We hope we don't sustain any more injuries. But look, man, there's a good chance here, and these boys just need to see it over the line. But with that being said, I think let's wrap this up. But before we do, let's give our score predictions. What do you think the game is going to be like?
Uh, I am gonna go 2-1 to United.
Okay. 2-1. All right.
2-1.
So you're saying we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna concede. Okay.
And Garnacho and Hoyland score for us. And on that
Not twin
side,
hole.
Diaby or
Okay.
Baby.
Um, what do we play? Is this a home or no? It's an
And
away
Oli
match?
Watkins will provide. Oli
Oh,
Watkins will provide the assist for the scorer.
yeah. Yeah, no, I hear this is a tough one, it's a tough one because it's an away fixture and our away fixtures haven't been great for us. So, man, this is tough for
Yeah,
me
but
to
then we
predict,
are
man.
better. We're better equipped.
Yeah, true, true, true.
We
We
are
are
better
better
equipped.
equipped. And you
No,
know
we're
what?
better
I
equipped.
think yeah,
We're
yeah, no,
better equipped.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And I think with that being said, I'm probably gonna go with the same prediction that you gave. I think I'm gonna go for a 2-1 victory. I think we're still gonna be able to continue that
Mm.
momentum as long as we keep our cool, as long as we play our football, and
Mm.
believe in the process. Because I think
Mm.
a lot of the time it's about believing in the process. So I think sometimes United lose their
No.
way, and then they lose focus of that process that needs to be done. So as long as we stick to the process, I think we can get it over the
We should
line.
be.
But yeah, man, any last
Yeah.
words that you want to say before we wrap this up? And this can be about anything,
Patience.
anything we spoke about in the beginning of the episode, anything, fam.
Patience, my guy. This is what I
Hmm.
always try to preach to the people. They want results now, 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 everything now, now. Man, we're sitting here
Yeah,
now and saying, hey, we might have a chance making it to the top four. But I
yeah,
think a month ago there was like it's a wrap. There's nothing
yeah,
going on. Like there was no hope. But
yeah,
then and we mentioned if we just go on a couple of runs,
yeah,
like 2 3 4 winning, somehow you just will find ourselves there.
yeah,
It's just about getting the run of games under our belt. I don't know
yeah,
which club it is. They've got like a crazy fixture. But when I
yeah.
looked at it, I was scared for them because they're
It
playing
was.
all the big boys.
I told you
All
about
the
this,
big
Ben.
boys.
It was which club was this
The
again?
Chelsea.
No, I think it's either Brentford or there's a player I wanted to get in my fantasy, and I told you about him. Like these guys have got a crazy fixture list. I think it's Brentford. I
Are
think
they
it's
playing
Brentford
Man
with the
City?
I think it's Brentford with the crazy fixture list. But anyway,
No, I think it is. It must be. I think it's a Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea because I saw it in one of the
okay,
groups and they
all
tagged
right,
one of our boys
yeah,
who's a Chelsea fan. Yeah,
yeah,
and I was like, ah,
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I mean, and I think they posted it because it was just correlating to they just won against
yeah.
Villa.
Villa,
Then they're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right, so everything is now, but then look at your fixtures.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's
Ay,
so
ay,
fun and games now,
ay.
but there you go. Here's your receipt.
Yeah, yeah,
So patience, bro. Patience
yeah,
is one thing that I preach. Don't don't let and a lot of fans from other clubs they tend to influence United fans as well. Don't listen to
true.
them. You guys are
Yeah,
easily
yeah,
influenced, and then when they say, you guys are like this, then you believe it. Nah, 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 nah,
yeah,
nah, nah, nah.
yeah,
Patience. Don't
Yeah.
be surprised we make it into top four. Don't be surprised. Don't
Yeah.
be surprised we even make it to third. Just saying. I know. I see your smile. I know. But that's the same smile you gave me when I said we might make it into those things. You're like, it's a wrap, Ben. Top four is finished, but look where we are. So
But yeah, no man, thank you for those last words. Really powerful.
yeah,
Just
man.
to give you guys a note that yeah, man, for the past couple of weeks it's been a little bit busy on our end, but like I said, we're trying to strategize for the new year. Just to give you guys a heads up, if there are any of you guys who are watching the preview, we're gonna be cutting out the preview show from now. We'll just be doing the match reactions, and then we'll be doing this. What we do, we just sit down, catch up, talk about
Chop it up.
anything that's been happening, chop it up, and then yeah, we're gonna have some other new content that we're gonna be trying out. So yeah, man, like you said, we always want you guys to get involved in the conversation. So anytime you want to leave your comments in the comment section down below, we're there to respond. Don't think that we're not going to see the comments there. We definitely are, and we appreciate everyone who's been commenting so far. We really
Hey,
appreciate the love, support from all you guys. We're trying to build and grow this community, of just having a different take and opinion on whatever's going on in the world of United. And hopefully you guys can enjoy the content that we're going to be putting out there. But anyway, yeah, with that being said, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for listening to another episode of the Glory Reds podcast. And with that being said, we are out. Peace.
peace.